you engage that heart as well as that head, nothing's going to change. What I want to talk to you today about is behavioral change. What the hell do I mean by that? Well, it's actually pretty cool. There's this American psychologist named Jonathan Haidt, and he coined the term, or really the metaphor, the rider and the elephant. And when it comes to behavioral change, it's really everything about behavioral change, or everything about change management, all comes down to behavioral change, which means that it's not about systems that you put in place. It's not about software or processes or whatnot. Those things support it, but really what it comes down to is creating behavioral change in people. And the biggest resistor to behavioral change is, guess what? It's us. It's the human. So, you can tell people until you're blue in the face what you need to do differently. And that's the whole conundrum with change management, is that we put in place all these new processes and new ways of doing things. We tell people what to do. We even train them. But really, until they are motivated, like until something is locked in, making it relevant to them so that they actually care about it, change doesn't happen. So that's where this whole rider and elephant kind of comes in. And the way that they talk about it is that, if you think about it, you've got different parts of your brain. There's really like the logical part of your brain, right? That's the part of your brain that knows how to work with spreadsheets. It's your higher functioning brain. It's the one that, probably tells you the steps you need to do to make a pot of coffee in the morning. Then there's your emotional brain. Your emotional brain is like this really sort of heavy thing that, it's about motivation. It's about being inspired. It's about, where feelings and emotions and caring and all that stuff comes in. Wow, this stuff is really beautiful around here. So the rider is, and it's, if you think about the rider, it's like this, that's your logical brain. That's the one that, reads directions, that understands step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4. Your emotional brain is the elephant. Now, just think about this metaphor for a second. The rider, who's the one that is giving directions to the elephant, is a very tiny person. The elephant could overpower that rider at any moment. So guess what? If the rider is telling the elephant to go somewhere, to do something, to follow this new 7-step process to submit your expenses, the elephant doesn't feel like it. Geez, that elephant's going to do whatever the heck it wants to do. So when we think about trying to create any kind of change in people's behavior, you really got to think about this elephant and the rider. Now, sort of some great sort of catchphrases is that you really direct the rider with very simple instructions, understanding, what they need to do. It's very clear. It's not confusing. I love this snow. I love it. And with the elephant, you never want to spook the elephant, right? You don't want to give them like too many things, to try and absorb. So really with the elephant, you need to really chunk things out into small pieces so that they're easily consumable. You don't spook them. Now, a lot of things I'm talking about here, but when you direct the rider with very clear directions, because also when it's very clear, it doesn't spook the elephant. And then you've got to get the elephant kind of emotionally inspired, emotionally involved in this stuff. So what's interesting about this is that, behavioral change applies to coaching, one-on-one coaching, when I'm working with clients to really get them from where they are right now and to where they want to be, like they're driving that change. When I'm dealing with clients and they want to work on change management for leaders, right? And how is it that you can get people to adjust how they're doing things now because maybe it's not working, their paradigm has maybe shifted, regulations kind of shifted. That is about behavioral change too. rallying your troops, getting them all going, let's say, in that right direction of where they want to go. It's the same in just training and just workshops, when anything that I'm teaching on persuasion or team building or whatnot, there's a whole aspect of change management, because you have to get people to change their behavior, to adjust. And the only way that people will adjust and really change their behavior lastingly, I'm not just talking about that first day after they get out of the course, is that not only do I have to engage their brain, like logically I have to understand why they need to do this. Like logically I know that, I shouldn't be snacking after 8 o'clock at night. I shouldn't be going into the cupboard and pulling out the chips. I know that's how I gain weight. But you know what? 8 o'clock at night, when I got the munchies, I'm reaching into that cupboard. You want to know why? Because my bloody elephant's got control of the reins. And they're the ones that's making the decisions. So until that I can engage my elephant really with something that motivates them, that inspires them to want to make those changes. And it could be repercussions. It could be, a hope or a dream or something. Maybe I got an objective, to climb Kilimanjaro, and I can't do it at 120 or 320 pounds. I got to lose 70, 80 pounds in order to do that. But until I engage that elephant, right, in this whole weight loss journey that I want to go on, it doesn't matter how much I know, how many articles I read, how much things I convince myself at, because the minute I'm in front of that bloody pantry at 8 o'clock at night, I'm going in there for some of those chips. So it all comes back to, there is no point in telling people what to do, telling people how they need to change. Yes, you can put those things in order to smooth the process, but until you engage that heart, as well as that head, nothing's going to change. Okay, that's enough of my ranting around change management. There's less snow as I'm coming down out of the mountains, thank God, because I am